Most people don't ruin their lives because they're stupid. They ruin their lives because they let a temporary emotion make a permanent decision. Anger, fear, jealousy, insecurity, impulse. Emotions are powerful, but power without control becomes destruction. And the truth is, if you don't learn to master your emotions, they will master you. If you're serious about mental strength and emotional control, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This video is for people who want clarity, discipline, and inner stability, not noise. Now listen carefully. Emotions are not the enemy, but most people were never taught how to handle them. So when an emotion rises, they react instead of respond. They speak before thinking. They act before understanding. They escape instead of processing. And over time, those reactions become patterns. Patterns become habits. Habits become personality. Personality becomes destiny. You've probably heard this idea. Don't suppress your emotions. Feel everything. But here's what they don't explain. Feeling everything without regulation doesn't make you emotionally intelligent. It makes you emotionally volatile. Emotional mastery is not about suppression. It's about containment. It's knowing how to experience an emotion without allowing it to hijack your behavior. Think about a time you reacted emotionally and later regretted it. A message you sent, a decision you rushed, a bridge you burned. In that moment, the emotion felt justified, necessary, urgent, but later, when the emotion faded, you were left dealing with consequences it didn't warn you about. That's how emotions work when they're in control. They speak loudly, they leave quietly, and they never clean up the mess. When emotions spike, the rational part of your brain goes offline. Logic weakens, perspective narrows, time feels compressed. You start thinking in extremes. Always, never, they don't care. I must act now. That's not intuition, that's survival mode. And survival mode is terrible at building long-term peace. The first sign of emotional strength is not control. It's pause, the ability to stop yourself mid-emotion and say, let me not move yet. Let me not speak yet. Let me understand this first. That pause is where power lives. Not in force, not in dominance, but in restraint. Have you noticed something? The most grounded people rarely react dramatically. They don't explode often. They don't overshare emotions impulsively. They don't need to prove how they feel. That's not because they feel less. It's because they've learned that not every emotion deserves expression. Some emotions need understanding. Some need time. Some need discipline. And some need to be released slowly and intentionally. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Emotions are signals, not orders. Anger tells you something feels violated. Fear tells you something feels uncertain. Sadness tells you something matters. But none of them tell you what to do. That decision belongs to you. And the moment you reclaim that authority, you stop being emotionally reactive and start being emotionally intelligent. Mastery begins when you stop saying, this is just how I am. And start asking, why am I reacting this way? That question creates distance between you and the emotion. And distance creates choice. Most people don't lose control because they feel too much. They lose control because they've never learned how to sit with discomfort without reacting. The moment an emotion becomes uncomfortable, they rush to escape it. They argue, they distract themselves, they numb it, they project it onto others. This creates a cycle. Emotion reaction, temporary relief, long-term damage. And the brain learns that reacting is the fastest way out, even if it's the most destructive. Some people pride themselves on being unbothered, but emotional avoidance is not mastery. Ignoring emotions doesn't make you strong. It makes you delayed. Whatever you avoid emotionally doesn't disappear. It waits. And when it resurfaces, it comes back louder, heavier, and harder to control. True emotional strength is not pretending you feel nothing. It's being able to feel deeply without losing direction. This distinction matters. Suppression is force. Control is a skill. Suppression says, don't feel this. Control says, I feel this, but I choose my response. Suppression creates pressure. Control creates space. And space is what allows you to act instead of explode. You cannot master what you don't recognize. Most emotional reactions are automatic because they're familiar. They come from old wounds, learned behavior, past experiences, unresolved insecurity. When someone triggers you, They are often touching something that existed long before them. Emotional mastery requires brutal honesty. This reaction says more about me than about them. That awareness shifts power back into your hands. Emotions evolve for survival, not wisdom. They are fast. They are loud. They demand immediate attention. Logic is slower, quieter, more deliberate. In emotionally charged moments, speed feels like certainty. But speed is not clarity. That's why emotionally intelligent people slow everything down. They breathe, they wait, they observe, not because they're weak, but because they refuse to be rushed into regret. One of the most effective tools for emotional mastery is learning to observe your emotions instead of becoming them. Instead of saying, I am angry, you say, I notice anger. That small shift creates separation. You become the observer, not the storm, and storms pass. Every emotional trigger is information. It reveals where you're still sensitive, where you still seek validation, where you still feel threatened. Triggers are not problems. They are invitations to grow. When you stop blaming others for how you feel and start studying your reactions, you turn emotional pain into self-knowledge. People think discipline is restrictive, but emotional discipline is what gives you freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from impulsive damage, freedom from repeating the same emotional mistakes. Each time you choose restraint over reaction, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Calm is not the absence of emotion. Calm is the presence of control. It's the ability to remain steady, even when emotions rise. Not numb, not detached, just grounded. And grounded people don't get pulled into chaos easily. As emotional control strengthens, something subtle changes. You speak less, but with intention. You react slower, but with clarity. You choose silence more often, not from fear, but from wisdom. You no longer need to win every moment. You're playing the long game. When you master your emotions, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You stop letting fleeting feelings dictate permanent outcomes. You become the pilot. Life will still throw challenges. People will still provoke you. Situations will still spiral, but you no longer react like a wave being tossed by the wind. You respond like a captain steering through the storm. Emotional mastery affects more than your inner world. It reshapes your relationships, your career, and your self-respect. You will notice conversations remain calm, even when tension rises. Decisions are made with clarity, not urgency. Your peace becomes a shield, not a fragile state. People respect your presence because it is stable and consistent. You will become unshakable, not because life stops testing you, but because your response no longer hands over control to temporary feelings. Mastering your emotions is not a single achievement, it is a daily practice. Observe first, pause before reacting, name the emotion, recognize what you feel, understand the trigger, identify why you feel it, respond intentionally, choose your action rather than letting it choose you, reflect. After the moment passes, evaluate without judgment. These steps, repeated consistently, turn reaction into choice and chaos into calm. The final truth about emotional mastery is simple but profound. Your emotions are guides, not rulers. They are information, not commands. They are invitations to understand, not instructions to act. When you embody this truth, life stops controlling you through fear, anger, or anxiety. You move forward with a clarity and calm that others mistake for unshakable strength. And that strength isn't showy, it's quiet, steady, and deeply liberating. If this video helped you see your emotions differently, like it so it reaches someone who needs this message. Subscribe and turn on notifications to keep receiving motivational insights that teach emotional strength, self-mastery, and clarity. And if you're ready to take your first step in mastering your emotions today, comment below. I am in control. Remember, mastery isn't about feeling less, it's about choosing more. Choose clarity, choose calm, choose yourself.